The book of Genesis is not just the first book of the Bible, it is the grand opening chapter of human history, faith, and existence itself. From the very first verse, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis sets the stage for everything that follows, revealing profound truths about God, humanity, and the world we live in. At its core, Genesis is a story of beginnings. It tells how the universe came into being out of nothing, how life emerged, and how humanity was formed with a unique purpose. Genesis explores deep questions. Who is God? What does it mean to be human? And how can brokenness be restored? Genesis opens with a dramatic picture of the formless earth, darkness over the surface of the deep. Then, God speaks, and light appears. This divine word sets in motion the entire process of creation. Over 6 days, God shapes the cosmos, separating light from darkness, sky from seas, land from oceans, and filling the earth with plants, animals, and finally humans. This creation narrative is rich with symbolism. The ordered progression from chaos to order reveals a God who brings structure and meaning out of nothingness. It tells us that creation is intentional, beautiful, and good. The repeated phrase "and God saw that it was good" reminds readers that the world is fundamentally good because it reflects God's character. Among all creation, humanity holds a special place. Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 says, "So God created mankind in his own image, in the image of God he created them, male and female he created them." This is a profound statement. To be made in God's image means humans reflect God's nature, in their ability to reason, create, love, and make moral choices. This divine image gives humans dignity and responsibility. They are called to fill the earth and subdue it and to rule over the animals. This is not a license for exploitation but a sacred stewardship, a call to care for and cultivate the world as God's representatives. Genesis also introduces the intimate relationship between God and humans. In the Garden of Eden, God walks and talks with Adam and Eve, showing a friendship that is meant to be personal and loving. However, the harmony in Eden is short-lived. Genesis chapter 3 tells the story of the fall, when Adam and Eve disobey God by eating from the forbidden tree. This act of rebellion has far-reaching consequences. Sin enters the world, bringing shame, guilt, and separation from God. This story is not just about disobedience, it is about the rupture in the perfect relationship. As Genesis progresses, the effects of sin become evident in the growing wickedness of humanity. The story of Cain and Abel reveals jealousy, violence, and broken family relationships. Soon, corruption spreads so widely that God decides to cleanse the earth with a flood, sparing only Noah, his family, and pairs of animals. Noah's story is one of judgment and hope. After the flood, God makes a covenant with Noah, symbolized by a rainbow, promising never again to destroy the earth by flood. This covenant marks God's ongoing commitment to the world despite human failure. After the flood, Genesis focuses on the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, who become the ancestors of the Israelite nation. These stories form the foundation of God's covenant relationship with his people. Abraham's call is especially significant. God tells him to leave his homeland and promises to make him a great nation and bless all peoples on earth through him. Abraham's faith and obedience, despite many challenges, set a pattern of trust in God that resonates through Scripture. The covenant includes promises of land, descendants, and blessing, a divine commitment that shapes the identity of God's people. Isaac and Jacob continue this lineage, and through Jacob's 12 sons, the tribes of Israel are formed. The latter part of Genesis tells the story of Joseph, whose life is marked by betrayal, suffering, and eventual triumph. Sold into slavery by his brothers, Joseph rises to power in Egypt and saves his family from famine. Joseph's story highlights themes of forgiveness, providence, and God's sovereignty. Even through hardship, God's purpose prevails. Joseph's words to his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good," remind readers that God can bring redemption out of suffering. Genesis is more than ancient history, it is a living text that continues to speak to us today. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story, created by a loving God with purpose and dignity. It explains the brokenness we see in ourselves and the world, but it also points toward hope and restoration. Its themes challenge us to reflect on our relationship with God, our responsibilities toward creation, and how we respond to sin and suffering. Genesis invites us to see life as a journey, one that begins with God's creative word and moves toward His redemptive plan. In a world often marked by confusion about origins and purpose, Genesis offers clarity and hope.